Right, hello guys, you're watching Geeks and today we're reviewing Scream, the first one. Never watched this in my life, first time viewing. I know. The only image I have of Scream before watching the first one was Scream chasing someone upstairs and the piano starts chasing him and he's running back down. I don't know what one that was. We'll soon find out. It felt like an old one, so I guess it might be the second or third one, I don't know. But we're talking about the first one today. What do I think of it? So it's a lot of cheesy dialogue, isn't it? There's a lot of cheese there, a lot of cheese, a lot of references to horror. You know, Freddy Krueger. There was even a guy called Freddy, dressed like Freddy in a way, who's a janitor in the thing. And there's a lot of callbacks to movies that I haven't watched, Nightmare on Elm Street. You know, there's the spoof. There's a spoof of this movie apparently. My mate said called horror movie or something. I don't know. Either way, they were doing some like questionnaires before killing someone, and that aspect of a lot of horror, I was alienated too, but I got that they were Easter eggs. If that makes sense. Like I was like, that's a horror thing I don't know about. That's another one. You know, I was getting the references without getting the references. If that makes sense. And there's a lot throughout this. Also, there's a dude explaining what horror is and the rules. And this movie, it kind of follows the rules in a way that was set, which is interesting. There's heavily on stereotypes of what horror should be and what horror movies, and they were constantly like, "This is the sequel we're gonna be in. I want to be in the next sequel. You know, don't kill me. You know, sort of things like that." Which was too on the nose. It felt like I was watching a Deadpool movie with how on the nose it was, as like talking to the audience in a way. But the kills. So the first one, I was quite shocked because I felt like I was watching the end of the film instead of the beginning. Because instantly in the first 3 minutes, we've got someone calling her. Then we've got the aspect of her, she's about to die in 10 minutes. In exactly the first 10 minutes, she dies. You know, you get what I'm watching. I thought I was watching the end sort of thing. It felt like that's how interesting this was and how action packed this was. You know, we got the principal dying, we got some other people dying, we got the best friend dying, but the main woman who we were chasing throughout all this, yeah, she had some times she could have died, but she had plot armor. Plot armor is basically, you know, the writer writing plot, and she just survives because that's her plot armor throughout all this. And yeah, I feel like there's definitely a heavy load of that. She survives just because, you know, the guy could have killed her many times. And obviously, this is an old movie, so spoilers, but not really. Spoilers to me, because I actually didn't know the plot twist. The plot twist in this is there's two of them. Not one of them, but two of them. Now, there's only one thing I knew throughout all this. I didn't know he was actually the bad guy. Scooby Doo, Shaggy, that actor, yeah, he's in this franchise. I knew that. I also knew. I don't know whether he is in the sixth one or he's in the seventh one they're making, because I've seen a trailer, someone reviewing a trailer with him in and him at the desk. But I don't know this franchise. I'm a noob to this universe, and I recognized him in this. I was like, oh, so he must survive, obviously, then, unless they keep recasting him. Or he could be the killer. They were my three options with him. And as goofy as he was, I kind of was like, he's not the killer. He's probably going to get killed and recast, or he's generally just surviving for luck. I don't know. But yeah, plot twist. He was one of the killers, and we have the boyfriend, which was a thing. I was like, I was recording on my Snapchat. I was like, oh, I'm watching Scream for the first time, and literally, I was like, oh, it's the police officer. Oh, it's the boyfriend. Or it could be anyone else. It's a whodunit movie. You know, I was talking to my mate about it, and I was kind of right. It was the boyfriend, but you know, I was kind of guessing everyone at this point. But he has very suspicious. He was like very intense with everything he was doing, and it was making it more obvious it could be him. But as soon as he got arrested, and then the call, but then she made sense. The main woman we were following throughout this, that maybe he used his only call in the prison to torment her, to try and get him off the hook. And I was like, oh, but then he died, and I was like, oh, it's not him then. And it can't be the police officer because we just saw the guy chasing her when he's with the reporter. So that moves him out the equation. So I don't know, who is it? And then I thought maybe it's the obsessed guy who's after her in the shop, the DVD store. I thought it could be her because of how obsessed he is with wanting to be with her. And then maybe wanting to kill the boyfriend because he finds out she's doing it with him. No, it was a fake. Scooby-Doo, I don't know the guy's name, so I'm going to say Shaggy from Scooby-Doo. Shaggy and the boyfriend fake that death. The boyfriend comes up, kills another, and literally kills the police officer dude, and literally about to kill the reporter. However, massive fight scene going on. Dad and the girl escape while they were about to die. You got the reporter come back for round 2 after being beaten, and then you've got the creepy dude from the store who I was talking about, who I thought maybe was it, just randomly popping up and surviving because he's a virgin, which is the horror rules. You know, there's a lot of aspects in this, and there's a lot of comedic. Whilst they were watching a horror movie, it was like, this is what happens in the rules, and we kind of followed that in this. And then him was like, oh my god, the villain always comes back to shock you one last time. And she's like, not in my movie, you know. But then it happens anyway, you know. There's a lot of rules being followed throughout all this, which they state, and I found that interesting. I also found it interesting that that guy's like, it's behind you, he's behind, and then the guy's actually behind this guy. That's what I feel like in every horror movie. I'm like, oh, I need to shut that front door. I need to shut that door because, you know, it could be behind me. You know, that's what we all feel when we're watching these horror movies. And I kind of like that gimmick. There's a lot of comedicness there, but there's a lot of cheesy dialogue. What I'm going to give this out of 10 is a 6 out of 10. I think it's just a bit better than average. It's solid for what it is. I'm interested to see now they're finally, in the first one, they were talking so much about sequels. I'm interested to see what their sequel is. And they also talk about a trilogy at one point. So, you know, yeah, maybe this was set from the get-go that we were going to try and get one. But now we're going to watch number 2 and talk about that. So stay tuned for that. But we don't just talk about Scream, of course, because this is my first time watching it, and it'd be my first time watching the second one and all the others. Well, this is definitely the place to be for a geek like me. So join Johnny and subscribe for more content to come. As always, I'll see you guys in a review very soon. Have a nice day.